No, but in all seriousness, here's a quick explanation of what happened and why there's a bit of delay going into this. Normally, as you guys know, we have our little veto system, and it's loser's pick. Emil had done loser's pick up to the round of 4, and then changed it to a regular veto system. I don't really know why. But anyways, point is, my fault for not conveying that information correctly. I apologize, guys. It caused some confusion for the players. So what we settled on instead is we had these guys veto to one map, and now it's going to be loser's pick from that one map. So it's the same, except instead of a pre-selected map by our admin, the players have essentially selected the map by vetoing. So we'll just keep this for the rest of the tournament today, because honestly, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that's why we had such a delay there. It was just miscommunication. But wrapped up and good to go. We hop into Triton. It's map number 1 here in the semifinals. Spawning here to the top left side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is Bly. No, it is Bly. And his opponent to the bottom right will be the blue Terran player, the one and only Team Liquid uThermal. Oh my god, it didn't even dawn on me till literally just now. We had like every representation from Team Liquid today. We had TLO rocking Zerg, we had Mana rocking Protoss, and now of course we've got uThermal rocking Terran here in the semifinals. Was that a bleep? You bet it was. But to correct what Gay Pineapples has said in the chat, it has nothing to do with being monetized on YouTube. I couldn't give two f***s if I'm monetized on YouTube. It's just for comedic value. Because frankly, saying f*** sounds so much funnier than just saying fuck. That's all there is to it. See, the thing is, a lot of people... This is actually another one of those examples. Sorry, we'll watch the openings here, I know. But this is one of those examples where people like to assume things all the time. And I'm frankly just so much more basic and simple than people give me credit for. Like, anytime anyone's discussing my actions... Oh man, they're applying like 400 IQ. Like, he's doing this because secretly he wants this. And I'm like... Dog, it's just fucking funny. Like, so roll with it or not, that's the point of it. Guys, we have a sponsor for our tournaments. We have a sponsor for our channel. I'd love for you to check out real quick. !Nord in the chat. If you could click that link, it would do me a good solid, and I'd appreciate it long time. But an engineering bay block on the third base is far from conventional, but kind of working. While I sitting here with the drone hoping it would just get canceled, now it's to avoid the Reaper. The links start going over to the left side, and maybe uThermal's worried Bly will just expand elsewhere, but at the very least, this should be an easy drone kill. Oh, also, I have to make a small correction, guys. Emil pointed this out to me during the break. I've been saying tomorrow all day for our tournaments, because originally we were hosting another European tournament tomorrow morning. I had forgotten, however, we moved it to the 27th. To avoid conflicts and issues. So we actually don't have a European Cup tomorrow. We have a Korean Cup tomorrow. We have the ESL Korean Cup, but the next European Cup that we're hosting for this will be on the 27th. I just want to give a little correction there, since I kind of messed up and been saying tomorrow all day, because that's what it was originally and I forgot we changed it. Also, big thank you to Lamaris, just purchased the $10 BaseTradeTV Musketeer legally not a Marine skin. Nice, dude. Of course, quick reminder, I know we're watching the finals of Starcraft and we're not going to cut away from the action for very long, but you guys do have about 3 minutes left to queue into the battle. We got a huge battle. Oh, we have almost 500 troops on the field. If we don't crush this boss, then this game is confirmed broken, okay? But get in while you can, queue in while you can. I'm not surprised you were wrong, says Rifkin is wrong. God damn it. This name is gonna haunt me for the rest of my career, and I hate it. I want to let you know, because I still don't know who's behind Rifkin is wrong, but I want to let you know, I have considered a rebrand, if for no other reason, just to say f you. Honestly. More swearing today than is on average. Ling manages to run up to the top of the ramp, but regrettably Bly won't be able to see too much from it. One of the things he is looking for... Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute sounds. Let me fix that, because we shouldn't be hearing those sounds. One of the things we should highlight is uThermal, of course, is very much well known for delving into mech, I guess we'll say. That's a polite way to phrase it. He likes to play mech from time to time. And so Bly needs to know whether it's going to be Cyclone Hellions or not. In fact, I would argue uThermal might have been one of the first, if not most prominent European players to really go heavy into mech. God knows Cyclones especially. I think he was like one of the first players that made me go, why do people go Cyclones? Oh, because uThermal gets work done with Cyclones. However, I'm highlighting that it's not mech this game, and that's what Bly's going to really need to confirm. This Banshee, by the way, doing far more work than I expected. 6 drone kills, almost a 7th. Hallion's going to trade out here versus the Lings, while the Banshee continues to try and prey on the Queens. Actually goes for the high energy one. There's still a couple transfuses left. But hell, burning transfuses like this means there's less creep tumors being put down. Possible injects being missed as we speak. So this Banshee is still doing a considerably good amount of work here. But going back to it, yeah, it's bio out of uThermal. He's got a lot of barracks down. Bly's vision so far has not confirmed that. So it looks like he is... Well, actually, I take that back. He's seen the 2 barracks there with that Overlord. So he knows this bio. Of course, that's going to result in a slightly later bailing nest. If he knew he was playing bio from the get-go, that would have been done a little bit sooner. But truthfully, the bailing nest time here is not that valuable. Getting speed out quicker is obviously great, but... You know, getting 1-1, getting his layer. These are all very gas expensive things. It's not like he'd be building out 4 bailings right now. He doesn't need to. I like this in chat. uThermal is like a Terran scientist. Haha, always comes up with new builds. You know what? uThermal, I think what sucks about uThermal is he really is his own worst enemy when it comes to Starcraft. Because he is and has been consistently such a really good Terran player. But you know... You don't get the results. You don't see those tournament wins. It's easy to get down on yourself. But just as like a fan, not even as like a commentator, just like as a fan, it's been so wonderful watching uThermal. And you're right, he has been really creative with some of his builds. My favorite was that stretch in HOTS. I've referenced this several times. Oh wow, hold on. I just missed like 7 more drones die because I'm awful. Sorry guys. Wait, no, that's not 7 more. That's just more on top of this. Okay, 14 and dead in total. Sorry. The uThermal comment got me caught off guard there. To finish it up though, so it's not completely wasted. I remember a time when it was, do you guys remember that period of HOTS where people were rushing out hives? Like we're talking like 6-minute hives for fast ultras, and uThermal couldn't beat it. And we held like I think it was like a best of 15 or something, best of 10 or something really stupid and long. And it was versus Inertio. And we watched uThermal go from like unsieged tanks, Marauders go, like he tried everything to figure out how to beat ultras until it finally worked. And so he's certainly been a scientist for builds. There's no question about that. And in a very desperate situation has been forced to make some cool games happen. But that's not the trend anymore. It's worth noting we did cast Bly do like a 6-minute hive just last weekend in the ESL Pro Tournament, but that's another case for another time. Double drop's gonna unload now. Stim's done, but combat shield's not. But it's Stim and 1-1. So I mean, these Marines have a lot of firepower. They're gonna knock down this hatchery super quick. 2 medevacs full of Marines. Yep, just picks up. Can't go to the high ground. There's too many ground tempests up there, so he has to pull back. Middle of the map. I'm not sure why this tank is out here. Also, I just love game design where like one tank can't roll over 3 Zerglings and instead dies. But at the same time, he just soaked up a bailing with the tank, so it was actually kind of okay. What do you guys mean ground Tempest with a question mark? As if you don't know what I'm talking about. You know the Queens have like as much range as a Tempest, right? 8? Well, okay, not as much, but they're basically ground Tempests. Let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves. It's not even a balance complaint. It's just a statement. A truth statement. Spire, Infestation Pit, all the things to continue advancing forward in this game. But Bly's supply is kind of low, and even though Banelings do beat out a higher supply Terran player, he's gonna have to take a fight on creep. He's gonna have to not get caught by these tanks. uThermal doesn't even have these tanks sieged up, and he's already forcing Bly back. Oh my god, he's gonna set up here. Oh my god, this is like the sickest place to siege. Just siege up like right here. Oh my god, now he gets to threaten the mineral lines. And if any Lings want to engage, he's going to be off creep. This is actually a really great spot for him to take a fight. But of course, while this goes on, Bly's not going to lose these drones sitting down. Oh god. Oh wait, those Marines are so clustered on the ramp. Oh no. Oh, he realizes though. He realizes, he pulls back, he splits, he'll be okay. Oh my god, that had the potential to be disastrous. Bly has just been licking his wounds. 24 drones dead. You know, hatchery's probably going to I say burn here, but it's going to actually go down. Tank set up again. Bly's just, where's his supply? He's making 50 Lings. All of his supply is in production right now. He's got 1,500 minerals banked up. Their gas banked up. I don't know what his tech swap plan was. Infestors, probably to some degree. Mutas, maybe. But, like, God, Bly's going to lose this game with, like, 1,500 gas in the bank. That's, like, the worst feeling. The Queens will actually help push this back. But even with their, like, almost endless transfuses, hold on. Bly runs by. Other side of the map, the depots were down for the Baneling bust earlier. But the Sim City chokes too hard, and these lings actually hardly kill anything. This is a full wall off. This doesn't look like it's a full wall off. This is the world's most awkward full wall off. Look at it. Bly even just did a double take with his Zerglings. He's like, wait, what? And he just continues to run away. Amazing. Ground Tempest is my favorite term I've learned from this stream. Is it Goblin? Does someone know which streamer? I think it's Goblin, maybe. Has like an emote, and it's just a queen, but the emote code is like Tempest or something. Oh no! As if he's pulled into the Banelings. That was almost held perfectly. He had the depot lowered in the back. I don't know what happened there. that was not perfectly handled, but it was good enough, I suppose. Tank's gonna hold on for now. Nine SUVs died. Not the end of the world. Actually, funny enough, they're both on similar-ish economy as we speak. I say ish because it's not quite close. Base layout matters quite a bit. Mules will carry the difference. So you'll see this still fluctuate back and forth, but that's the emphasis here, right? Like, it's very much back and forth. This depot setup almost looks like a very awkward heart. All right, he's moving up for round 2. I think that attack position on the top right was really good earlier, but Bly didn't take this base again. And by the way, that was a highlight on why Zerg players don't take this base. I may have been a little hyperbolic about dying with all the gas in the chamber, but he's invested in Mutas. There's like 12 of them or so popping out soon. That medevac is in trouble. Oh no, is it even gonna unload his cargo? Oh no! I'm just saying, if he had those Pult boosters, that wouldn't have been an issue. But the mutas are gonna be a problem. There's hardly any missile turrets down, not even any over here. The Marines are across the map. He does have a good cluster rallied at home into the natural base by the looks of things. So it's not like these mutas will be impossible to deal with, but it's not gonna be fun. So fight starts off over here. Fight starts off up here. Banelings, hello! Roll in and take out the Marines. The mutas, however, have not been cleaned up. Bit of an issue as he continues to chase around and poke. Hatchery going down, and uThermal continues his push. It's starting to get on creep though, so the fight favors Bly in that regard, but Bly has managed to do one of the more difficult things for Zerg while all of this has been happening, and he did get to hive tech. You know, usually it is that transition period of building your hive, building an Ultralisk cavern. That's when you're your weakest as a Zerg player. But now that time has passed, he's made it here somewhat comfortably. Oh no. Oh no. Nice pickup. But uThermal's also, I think, very aware of this. He never scouted the hive, but the timing's just kind of there. Also, I've never appreciated how cool the Simulant Ultralisk building looks. That looks pretty dope. But yeah, so Ultras are going to be coming out next. At the moment, between Liberators and Marauders, he should be able to deal with the first wave of Ultras, I think, with relative ease. But if this gets out of hand, he's going to really need to consider investing in Ghosts. Sorry, I know you guys have been asking about building Marines in the chat. We'll let you guys build some Marines after this game. It's a really distracting thing for me. I don't want to deal with that right now. I'll let you guys spam some Marines and some Zerglings after, because you were weirdos. Okay, Banelings on creep. Fantastic position here. The tanks still go for the focus fire. Big fungal growth forces uThermal to split, but look, he's got like 100 units to split with. Quite literally. Like, this is fine. First engagement, not so good for Bly. He doesn't manage to uproot most of the tanks. Marauders are being segmented off, so even if the Banelings were to sideswipe in, Marauders don't die very easily to Banelings. So, I like the Queens. Having these out for some transfuses into the Ultras will be really nice. The mutas are still just looking for an opportunity to come in, but uThermal has left a lot of Marines to cover the tanks. There's not really a lot of openings here for the mutas to make work. Although they will catch 2 medevacs, and that's pretty nice. But Marauder's also chasing out the Ultras. Oh my god, the transfuses! This thing's like a cat with 9 goddamn lives! 45 health still standing. Okay, the Infestor gets focused down. That was a really good target fire. That was a high priority pick there for uThermal. Ling's running around too. Oh, the Deepo's down. Ooh, that could be a problem. That could be a little bit of a problem. Bly putting up a hell of a fight though. And this counterattacks to get some SCVs. uThermal's at a pretty low worker count at the moment. So what he has right now is a pretty powerful army in the front line, but now he's supply blocked with those Deepas going down. He's also just going to have, frankly, less money to work with as time goes on. Again, he's been very decisive about picking off the Infestors, which is the only reason his army's not in trouble right now, because a fungal growth would totally murder him. Bly's also like, yeah, I see that you're supply blocked. Let me help you by killing a few units here. Muta's being pushed off, though. uThermal is fighting on 2 fronts so impressively. Look at that. He's still kiting with these units on this left side, but, like, churning on a dime, quickly responded to the Mutas. uThermal's micro is actually, like, out of control right now, and I'm loving it. This is... You watch a Terran player run away with micro, it's so hard not to fall in love with watching this game, honestly. Like, Zerg players do micro, and it's a lot less noticeable, so it's not as cool, I feel. It's definitely there and certainly appreciated by people who can, but you watch a Terran player do splits like that, and that focus fire is so good. Meanwhile, right side, that SCV, the base has been cleaned out. I don't think uThermal has any plans for trying to recover his economy, to recover his supply. It's do or die. Oh my god, the fungal growth! These Marines are left barely alive. There's not that many medevacs here. Remember, several of these got picked off by the Mutalisks already. So uThermal's putting himself in a very precarious situation. He's getting on creep, which is not great to begin with. And his forces are split. And the forces that are split have almost no HP. This is so concerning. Bly's also running out of units here because uThermal's just taking hella good fights. But that steam is starting to run out. How many mutas are left in play right now? 16. Oh my god. So he still has to actually cover his back line. You just literally can't put everything on the front lines. uThermal expand, please. Now, here's an argument I want to make in chat. Someone is saying this is Zerg so lame. uThermal outplayed him. I would agree, but it's like uThermal outplayed him to a point, right? Then he stopped recovering, and he didn't build more expansions. He didn't take a 4th base. Like, respect where it's due for sure, but uThermal... I wouldn't say is outplaying him right now. uThermal's out microing him for sure. But part of StarCraft is your macro. Part of your StarCraft's like replacing those workers and not being supply blocked. So I feel you. I totally get where you're coming from. But let's call it what it is. Let's call a spade, right? He is not outplaying Bly right now. Bly is outplaying uThermal. Granted, that wasn't the case for the first like 80% of this game. I'll admit that. But this is oh, the Muta's flying from behind. Finally, he's been waiting so long for the Marines to like leave that alone and expose themselves, flooding it from the right side. Oh, Bly is starting to just overwhelm. It took some time to get here. The army supplies are very close to even, but the Mutas, I think, tip the scales of battle. They do take out the tanks, and with only Marines running from the Ultras, it's not looking good. StarCraft 2 could use less information. It would make the game more exciting and dynamic. So let's go ahead and remove the UI entirely to see if you guys can guess the outcome of this game. It might not be doable, but it adds to the hype and the excitement. GG. I don't know where that snark came from at the end. GG. Bly takes game 1. Okay, we hop into game number 2. Semifinals continues here for the January series. Again, thank you everybody for joining me for this. We've spoiled with a lot of games today. And he's up 1-0 to the top left side of the map. We have the red Zerg player. It is going to be buying time to swap back my settings to say Bly. And his opponent in the bottom right, playing for Team Liquid, down 1 at the moment. It is uThermal. Now this, of course, makes me both happy and sad. As far as the results for this potentially go, on one side, you've got uThermal maybe bringing this back. We go to game 3. Cool, let's dance. Let's see how this plays out. On the other side of the bracket, though, we still have a TVT to cast with Clem versus Soul. I kind of, on one part, I want uThermal to win because then it's just TVT for the rest of the stream. On the other, I kind of would be happy if Bly won because then it's at least variety for the finals, you know? I'm not sure who you guys are cheering for, but I've seen your complaints about not being able to buy Marines, so I'm gonna just here at the start of the game Unsupply block, you guys. Okay, give me a sec. This thing. Where is this thing? I'm so new to using this. Okay. You've been unsupply blocked graciously. So build Marines, build some Zerglings, whoever you're cheering for, send them some units to fight with, right? The same way you guys support us in Stream Raiders, now you can support your players, build some Zerglings, build some Marines. Have at it. I hate this purple flashing. Why did Twitch think this was a good idea to put the flashing in? Like, hey streamer, we want to make sure you see these 100 alerts that are going on right now. Yeah, you guys having fun? You done? Okay. Looks like you're getting really close to being supply block, guys. Good job. High five. You built your macro was good. Your macro is phenomenal. Let's oh, looks like you maxed out though. So someone's gonna have to build a supply depot before we can build any more. So yeah, calm down. All right. So I want to go back into some of that debate we had towards the end of the game. It was very close to the end. There was a lot of action, so there wasn't time to like calmly discuss it. But so the comment about uThermal outplaying Bly, I want to go back to because I agree. uThermal was doing so many fantastic and cool things that game, and he really was running away with it. And I think his judgment to go all in towards the end was actually not a bad call, in all honesty. But it's one of those things where Bly, oh. We didn't see that. Don't worry, dude. Bly got to run away with that game because uThermal let him. So that's the unfortunate thing about Starcraft 2 that can sometimes be very frustrating. You know, you've probably seen that GIF out there what it's like playing Terran, and you know it's the guy playing ping pong at like 100 miles an hour, and then the other guy's Zerg and he's just standing there. It's like Robert De Niro. Point is, the Zerg player doesn't need to be doing a lot of cool stuff if they can keep their macro better than yours. Right? This game is as cool as it is to watch the micro. Sometimes it is more about the macro, and regrettably, uThermal just kind of let himself go in that regard. Same way I let myself go 10 years ago. God damn it! No time at the gym can make up for that lost time. Anyways, but in all seriousness, though, he really did just like let things spiral. And what was kind of regrettable and a little bit funny was even at the end there, if uThermal's third base, I'm not saying it should have been, it never should be, but like hypothetically, if uThermal's third base was a planetary fortress, none of those problems that cost him the game would have presented themselves, right? So I'm not saying that's the way to go. Maybe he builds a bunker. Maybe he gets a missile turret and the mutas don't run so wild. There's a lot of what ifs, obviously, we could go over. But I'm not here to do what ifs. I'm just here to point out that uThermal did play that game really well. Absolutely. Earned my respect because his build and his play style and his micro especially was clean. But he lost it right there at the end, both literally in game and like in control of his bases. And I don't want to see that happen again. I want to see uThermal kick ass, but oh, hold up. uThermal is looking to kick some ass. He's going a little specialized on this one. We have concussive shells coming out very quickly. I didn't even catch this because I don't even like, you just don't look for this in a production tab. Nobody goes for this. But to be clear, Hellbats and Marauders with concussive shells, while not really a common thing to do anymore, this was a really powerful build that can catch players off guard. And I fear that that might be the case here for Bly. We got Liberator following it up instead of Soul doing like a battle cruiser or something. But the same idea is still there, where the follow-up to this is going to be very powerful if all the queens are removed from play. And normally with Hellbats, you know, the queens just run away, but this is where the Marauders come into play. Concussive shells slows them down. Can't really walk away from the army if you got concussive shells. Now he's got to be careful he doesn't get surrounded. He's also keeping the medevac very far back. I like that. This will keep the queens from easily focusing it down, because just like most of these sort of early drops, the attack comes to an end when the medevac dies. But the Marauders are being covered here by the Hellbats very nicely. The queens are being pushed off of creep. 2 Hellbats over here pushed off an entire base. And frankly, Bly is just bleeding out terrifically to this. He's building spine crawlers right now. He's worried about this ground force being a problem, when realistically, it's a Liberator that's going to cause all this chaos. There's like 1 queen to defend it, no spore crawlers. And while this goes on, uThermal's moving towards mech. Also, spine crawlers, for the record, are actually not even that great against Hellbats. They're not that great against Marauders either. This situation for Bly has gotten so out of control. I didn't even know there were Marines in this, by the way. High five to the Marines. This blitz, unseen, as you can see, gets out of hand so quick. If Bly had seen this coming, maybe this was a different game. But that Liberator is going to be covered here as the Marauders and Hellbats give chase. The Spore Crawler finishes up, but it flies away to the main base. And I don't think there's a single damn thing up here to defend against it. uThermal has not killed enough drones to like automatically win this game, but like this army has done more than enough damage. This is so out of control at this point. Looks like the Queen in the main base barely, by like one shot, survives the Liberator. So the Liberator doesn't kill everything in the main base, but the Roaches are coming out funneled one at a time. The Marauders are catching them so they can't kite the Hellbats. More Hellions and more Hellbats arrive at the front line. And oh god, even with Spine Crawlers coming down, again, they don't work against Hellbats. Hellbats hit for 18 damage a shot. That bonus armor that Spine Crawlers have means nothing. Now look, at some point uThermal runs out of steam, right? At some point, Bly does eventually clean this up. But this is a game of very much at what cost. And these drones went on the world's weirdest adventure. Oh no, only to be caught. Oh, but these aren't Hellions. Oh, he's gonna transform. He's gonna give chase. Chat, is he gonna catch the drones? He wants those drones. He wants those drones. Give me those drones. I want that kink. I want that kink. All right, well, Nicolas Cage memes aside, 4 drones only die, and a little bit underwhelming in that regard, but still the amount of lost mining here, just astronomical, off the charts almost, and uThermal gets an incredible lead here in the early game from this. And his mech follow-up, my balls are so blue right now. I agree. The mech follow-up to this is actually gonna be pretty strong. It's not like this catches uThermal as he's just transitioning out. No, he's already got tanks set up. In fact, oh my god, Bly just got scared because he got shot by the first tank. And as far as he's concerned, there's 3 more waiting. A bit of a bluff in that regard. I mean, there's a couple tanks out, sure, but I think that Corrosive Bile could have taken care of that if he wanted to commit. Oh, he only has the 1. Never mind, I take that back entirely. I thought he had 3 Ravagers for some reason. But yeah, we got Blue Flame, we got Cyclones. What's so great about this style of mech, and I think why it's really appealing for some, is that you don't really have to invest in upgrades as you conventionally do. Like +1 weapons is never going to hurt to have, and armor is always good, but you get your upfront damage very early. The Blue Flame benefits the Hellions, and if you invest in Cyclones, Mag-filled Accelerator doubles their damage. When was the last time Zombie Grub cast on BaseTradeTV? We did the GBL Season 3 together at the end of last year, if I recall. I did have to cast the finals to that solo, but she cast like 90% of the tournament with me. And she's casting Wardy's thing, I believe. Wardy 2020. I'm not sure what stage she comes in, but yeah, she went to what, Australia. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like the biggest Zombie Grub stalker here. I don't know exactly what she's been up to, but I know she hit up Australia and she just got back recently. So if you're really big fans of Zombie Grub, I know she was streaming last night. You can always check her out on her Twitch channel. In the meantime, we have Hyperflight Rotors, which I find a little bit fascinating. Hyperflight Rotors is obviously the upgrade that makes Banshees move very quickly, but it doesn't add any attack damage. It's just movement speed. But movement speed Banshees are not fun to deal with, and top tier Koreans know this. That's why people like Innovation are really credited with builds as such. But the thing about this is, while it makes them more maneuverable and makes them super annoying to deal with... Oh no. Oh, that's Blue Flame. That's a quick kill. Even kills the Spine Crawler, so loses the drone and doesn't get the cancel. Oh, that hurts. Banshees cannot run Queens as is, but the really important thing about Hyperflight Rotors is if a Spire comes into play, they can outrun the Overseer. There's no Spore Crawler here. This is devastating. The worker kill count is just skyrocketing, and the Overseer is still barely halfway done. That Queen's also very low, so even if she turns on a dime to fight, he can probably just kill the Queen. Oh my god, the micro and the focus fire has been so on point. I don't think he misfired a single drone there, by the way. Like, to be clear, if you stutter step with Banshees, it's really easy to misclick them. We see it happen all the time. uThermal just had like perfect control with the Banshees. 23 drones die before the fight even really begins. And then, of course, here comes the Blitz. We got Cyclones, we got Banshees. Queens aren't going to stand a chance. There's a Widow Mine in the mix because reasons. Yeah, this is out of control. This has been out of control. uThermal won this game on the first attack, but Bly just didn't die till now. GG. uThermal ties up the series 1-1. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not staying at home. To the top left side of the map, we have the red Terran player, uThermal. And for what is possibly the last time, but hopefully not, in the bottom right, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Bly. With things tied up 1-1. Now, look, I just wanted to quickly establish that that was happening. Let's finish up this battle real quick because there's a couple units left, but we smashed it. We knocked it out of the park, guys. Good job, everybody. Let me show you the loot really quick because I know that's what you want to see. All right, there you go. Let's hop back to the game. All right, that was the best speed run of this. But yeah, we're hopping into game with proxy racks. This comes with gas, so it will be Reapers, not Marines. It's going to be very, very important that this gets scouted, of course, but Bly's not going to know to look where it's being placed. It's actually very unconventional to go over here. There's an Overlord heading up there right now. This is actually a little bit odd. Oh, no. Oh, no, he stopped. He's just getting positioned to see the ramps. Let's see if there's an SCV scout coming from some direction, I suppose. If the Overlord sees an SCV leave from the north side, it'll know something's going on. So uThermal can't really fake a scout in this situation, as sometimes Terran players like to do. But he's not faking a scout, and it's not Reapers, by the way. I really thought it was going to be Reapers. He's making Marines. Okay, well, he's still taking gas at home, so you can just build a fast factory if you'd like. SCV scouts, he sees no defense. Well, he's got a Roach Warren coming up to deal with this. This is cool. I think this is a fake out of uThermal, by the way. Well, I guess like a somewhat committed fake out. So if you do 3 racks Marines, it's actually something Zerg players have to take very seriously. And these bunkers can sometimes get really out of control. But it's not. It's 2 racks Marine without an actual super dedicated follow-up. As you see, he's actually building the factory back at home. So Bly's already picked his path. He's going down Roach Horn as a means to deal with this. But this is wild. Bly has no idea whether this is super committed or not. I think he'll find out in the next few moments, but yeah, there's a big, just to be clear, guys, there's a big difference in the way Zerg players respond to a 2 racks versus a 3 racks. Bly didn't go for a spine crawler though, so I'm not sure he got super faked out the way I thought he did. Regardless though, with 2 bunkers set up, this will not easily be pushed off. 2 SCVs as well for repairs. Queens have to target fire them down. He pulls it back, no problem. Hatchery dies. Here comes the roaches, but that bunker's still standing. And the SCVs get over here to repair. Even the Ravager Cocoon getting focused down. The barracks for some high ground if he needs it. The SCVs could repair each other, repair the bunker. Either way, Bly's dying over here. Yeah, give each other some love. I like that he targets the Ravager Cocoon. This actually forces out a transfuse that 100% he didn't want to have to use. But with that first bunker going down, he's got a second one to fall back to. Another Queen dies over here. This one's trying to put a creep tumor down, but is that going to block the base? No, that should be good. I don't know. That could be funny later on if that's the case. Barracks scouting around the main base. I mean, guys, in context, an Overlord's 100 minerals, and it has 200 health. A barracks is 150 minerals and has 1,000 health. It's basically the world's sickest Overlord. At least for the purposes of scouting. He's going to force Bly to make a lot of Ravager eggs out of this. That does take away some of the damage, but this ultimately breaks. Bly holds. But as I mentioned before, and I'm going to reiterate again now, this was not super all in out of uThermal. This was not a 3 racks. This was a 2 racks that he turned into scouting. Think of this more akin to like watching Maru with an opener. But there's still problems for Bly, right? Like the Overlord just died, so he doesn't know what's coming next. I don't think he saw the Banshee. No, he 100% didn't see the starport, so he doesn't necessarily know it's a Banshee or what. uThermal's going for a double expand, which is a weird way to describe taking your natural base, but it's a fast 3rd CC coming too. The Banshee should 100% be able to hold this on her own. This is such a small amount of units. The Ravager's done a great job softening, or excuse me, the Cyclone has done a great job softening these units up. In fact, kills one of the Ravagers straight up. I don't even know if he'll leave the Banshee at home. The Cyclone might be able to just deal with this. Another lock on. Obviously, losing the Cyclone here would be terrible, but perfect play on the defense. That barracks is still scouting, by the way. Can you imagine if Terran buildings like kamikaze, like if they as they're burning, they fall down and they destroy everything under it? Kind of like you know, co-op when Stukov's battlecruiser dies and it crashes into the planet. Does like a huge nuke damage to everybody underneath it. Just float that barracks above the mineral lines and enjoy. That's the real patch Terran move. The spore crawlers are coming out. Okay. At least he'll have some means to deter this, but there's a lot of wiggle room you can do outside of the mineral lines for that spore crawler. We saw it happen last game. We'll probably see it happen again this game. This SCV on patrol also means that, well, he's not blocking a third. He knows there's no third. Bly's on 2 bases. Bly's on 2 bases going for layer. This is something that actually needs to be recognized pretty quickly out of uThermal. You didn't see the layer start up.
Center upgrade complete.
People are saying at least Zerg is dead. Yo, well, I hope you like Terran, because the rest of this tournament is going to be TVT if uThermal wins. Which, by the way, I'm okay with. With the games recently, though, of Cure vs. Tasia, I've been spoiled so rotten. There's like no good TVT that will ever measure up to that. Alright, so he knows about the layer timing. The Banshees are just looking for some kills. Not a lot of openings. Bly's tightened up quite a bit here. I guess he has the freedom to chip away. There's just no queens nearby. Meanwhile, it's Bio as the follow-up. We got double engineering base as part of the wall. Stim is nearing completion. So while last game was kind of a cool mech build, it was really more about the Banshees, if we're being honest. Although I shouldn't even say that, because it was more about the opening with the concussor shells. But, you know, whatever. The point is there's a lot of cool highlights from game number 2. But uThermal does not automatically win the game with this. Not with mutas coming out soon. However, no matter how you paint this picture, it's 3 base Terran to not 3 base Zerg. And that's a problem. That's a real big problem. And this Banshee's going to make sure that that stays a problem too. Yeah, just stuttering around. I think if he had more energy, he might stick around and fight. Because he can kite these outside the range of the detection, but... I like backing off. I think there's more opportunity for damage towards the 3rd base. While this goes on, of course, Stim has completed, and we've got 1-1 in combat shields, so there should be a really powerful follow-up push from uThermal. I didn't mention this at the start of the game, but a quick note about our veto system. We have what we call you vetoes, where you don't do vetoes before you play. Instead, each player has 1 veto they can use at any time during the tournament. So with this being loser's pick, Bly had picked World of Sleepers for game 3. uThermal used his veto to say nah. He literally said nah. And then Bly was forced to pick Simulacrum. So this is not the map Bly wanted to be playing on, that is for sure. Drops revealed, but the real threat's these Banshees. Those Marines can do a certain amount of damage, sure, but they'll be pushed off eventually. The Banshees need to really be dealt with, because these just do some runaway damage straight up. Okay, Queen's on top of it. Dealt with. Sorted. These Marines cannot pick up and fly away, but killing 1 mid is already pretty worth it. It's like an absurd trade to consider, but when you lose a medevac, that's 100 minerals, 100 gas. Same cost as the muta. So you want to try and at least take 1 out with you. Make it worth your while for the medevac going down, but... yeah, Bly's supply count is pretty bad. And this is not the type of Zerg supply, by the way, where you're like down 14 and, you know, a Baneling comes up and bridges that gap. Baneling Nest still isn't even done, and uThermal's already here on Bly's side of the field. Emil says maybe Bly wanted to play on this and debated the veto. I mean, that's possible. Bly is the kind of guy to actually do something like that, but I don't know how much that was a factor in this. Oh, the mutas get shredded, and then the lock-on almost kills another one. Roaches are trying to deal with this. Corrosive Bowser, not enough to kill these siege tanks. uThermal has, if not already, is now running away with this game in this series. Oh yeah, there's the mutas. A little sad to see Bly go down, but as said, Bly's at least qualified for some prize money. He's got some points from this too. All of that adds up to leading towards that round robin, and hopefully we'll see Bly play again on the 27th. But for now, GG. uThermal moves on to the grand finals.